Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Well, we're working on the Denali. Tank's down. And, okay, we're going back to the factory wiring and harness for at least one side of the wire, because I wasn't happy with that wire they added. Well, I got it undone up here, getting ready to repair the wire that they cut up here. Because I used the ohm meter, tested it. That wire is good. It zeroes out. Why somebody added this other wire, we don't know. Which, here comes the rest of it. Buddy went to give it a pull, and look at what we find. Green goobered wires. So whoever added this wire, it got nicked, and there's why the fuel pump would not work. So we are going to repair the factory wire. And that, according to the gauge of this wire too, it's actually too small. So, yeah. All this, well, the fuel pump needed to be replaced anyway because we found filings in the tank. And when I tested it, the pump runs, but it won't pump. So, yeah. So we're going to get our wires repaired and get her hooked back up. So, alright. Hey, I heard it. Come on, baby. Oh, come on.
Here's the pump and shit like that.
Wonder if we're too low on gas.
Well, we got it sitting like this too.
Oh yeah.
And we got a few emission lines that are hooked up back there, but
At least we hear the pump going.
here's the pump now.
Yes, we got the pump. So, all right.
This thing put back up here.
Alrighty. Well, we kind of cheated, but here you guys go. We won! We freaking won! And she smokes blue because we got 60 pounds of oil, or gas pressure. And you can hear a couple of exhaust leaks, but alrighty. She freaking runs. Well, the serpentine belt's changed, the oil and filter have been changed. The ticks are gone. After we let it set and come back and we started to move it, she ticked for a little bit and then it went away. And the oil pressure is faster to respond now that the filter and everything's been changed, so I imagine it was pretty dirty. As we're going to recap what happened to this thing. Blizzard, she pulled up to get the mail, it died. About a week later, her husband and I tried starting it, wouldn't start. Well, 2 days later, the next day or 2 days later, he got it to start and it died right away. He was going to take it to town and have them fix it. And it died. Yeah, it looks like it's dark. And then we ended up dragging it down here and let it set. And then you guys watched me work on it. Showed all the classic signs. Oh, that's what I'm going to test to see if... Because the other day when I was messing with the computer, like I said, I pushed on a pin and I swore I heard the stuff on the motor start doing something. I thought I blew a fuse or something, and well, evidently I didn't. So I think partially it was a pin fitment issue for the computer. Some stuff you end up pulling apart and plugging it back in and it fixes itself. I hate those kind of fixes, but anyway, we changed the fuel pump, found metal filings in the fuel. We got rid of that fuel, put fresh fuel in it, and then it still wouldn't start. It'd get fuel pressure once in a while. Then today, we got the new pigtail thing, and it was a pin fitment issue. And And it was, one pin was twisted in there, so it wasn't making connection like it's supposed to. So I got thinking we're going to test the factory wire. Factory wire tested out good. Zero dome, dried out right now. No questions. So we repaired the factory wire and hooked up the factory wire. And yeah. Then as he was pulling out the old wire, it broke and found the green ends like I showed you. The fuel pump we took out was starting to rust through on the top, so it had to be replaced anyway. And then when I had it out, it still had gas in it. It pumped, but it didn't move any fluid, gas. So I don't know what was wrong with the pump there. And there is no fuel filter on that. I guess it's built into the fuel pump. I followed the lines. It's not down by the anti-brake, and from the anti-brake up to the motor is just lines. Coming off the tank is just lines. There is no external fuel filter on that, and I've even tried looking them up for 2007, and there is no listing for a fuel filter for that. And then I watched some videos, and it's integrated into the pump. Kind of a dumb design, but I guess. And as soon as we had the pump, but we still weren't getting any fuel, and Buddy's trying to start it, and I had the fuel pressure gauge on. Something told me just hold the valve, let it be open. I think we had to push the air out of the system, because it almost started and it just started getting fuel pressure. And hey, wait, keep cranking it. He cranked her, and then next thing you know, she went bam up to 60 pounds of pressure, and she was running. So I guess we had air in the system. And I tell you, I've drove that one thing before when I've worked on it, and it didn't have no get up and go. That thing flies now. That's a whole different vehicle. I don't know what we fixed, because I took off from the farm drive and I pushed on its accelerator like I do my pickup. Oh my God, my pickup's a dog. It's a dog. I got down to the farm corner here. I'm like, whoa. And I look down, I'm already up to 70. Whoa. I'm like, wow. And if you're going down the road and you step on, since the rear shocks are blowed, you step on it and you get the front end left, and it's running really good. And now you can turn the key and let off it, and it's running. It pops right off. So we couldn't find where they cut the ground off, so we left the ground wire that they left. So if there's another issue, we'll just have to run another ground wire back to that. But I don't understand, because three things didn't have 5-volt reference, but then I got thinking, the fuel pump requires a 5-volt reference too. With that turning green, and it was down to a couple of strands, it may have been pulling the 5-volt reference down, showing that it was a bad computer. As everything works, gas gauge is working. I mean, it gets up and scoots, and it all rolls back. And you know, what those 2-3 strands that we're holding, I watched a guy that done this. He uses something that really puts a load on instead of, you could have test lighted that, and it would have showed the 12 volts, and we would have never thought that wire going back there was bad. He always uses something that loads like a headlight and makes a draw on it. And we would have hooked up a headlight to that. With that kind of draw, it might have melted those last 2 or 3 strands, whatever was holding. And we would have found out, okay, that wire's bad. But seeing that somebody added that, not knowing why, and that was all done before 80,000 miles, and then to have a refurbished computer in it, and that was done before 80,000 miles, because the owners now have not had anything to do with it, done with it that way. It's just been starters, alternator, battery, fuse box, and stuff like that. And they're at 235,000 plus miles. So, yeah, I just, I chased the right things. I found some problems. Well, I thought was problems, but then actually we didn't even test that wire today, or did we? Well, we kept putting power to it and it wouldn't go through it. So, but yeah, now that it's hooked up to the factory wire, which is in the loom and protected, and should not be an issue now. The connections on the pigtail were made with crimps and heat shrink stuff that came with it. And they ain't even color coded those, right? They just gave you 4 blank wires, so you had to hook them up one at a time to make sure they'd work. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah. So that one's done. Just kind of hoping Buddy'd stick around, but that's okay. I gotta get the 95 there. I'm really thinking, him and I, we always end up picking this spot. I'm really thinking about putting a concrete slab right in here, probably right up to there, up to the building. Put a concrete slab here. Well, actually, I want to put a concrete slab clear across here so I can roll like the cherry pickers out, the engine stand out, whatever, outside. And we could work out here. Yeah, during the winter it'd be a pain in the butt, but I'm kind of thinking of adding on right where these vehicles are sitting. Either there or over there on the other side above the dog, or where the dog is. Total time I wrapped up in this thing, 22 hours. And now that and it kind of goes back to that day, Buddy says we should test that wire, but it would have showed 12 volts. It wasn't just carrying enough current to run the pump. It might have been carrying enough current to slowly turn that pump, and that's how I got gassed up in the rails. I don't. But she's not getting charged for the full 22 hours. Because I kind of chased some stuff that I should have caught sooner, but... And she's like, that's okay. So, I don't know. I really didn't want this to go to another shop, as I'm like, I know I can fix it. I got to be able to fix it. That's why I got the tools. Oh, my arms are getting tired. So, yep. It's done. It's running. I suggested she should put the serpentine, but oh man, I took that off. It didn't even feel like a belt. It felt like paper. Just really dried out belt. But again, as far as we know, other than the stuff I mentioned that's been replaced on that, I don't think, who knows when the last time I had a serpentine belt put on. But she fires right up and goes. Would have put an AC belt on for her, but they were out of them today. But anyway, I guess. Took a while to get to it. A lot of thinking and a lot of stuff, and I guess next time, that's where I need a bigger toolbox. I'm starting to lose track where my stuff is in my toolboxes. I got too many toolboxes spread around the shop. I need a bigger central toolbox so I can find my stuff instead of spend half the day looking. So I don't spend half the day, but it seems like it when you're looking for stuff. Oh, I ate. About Buddy and I lunch. I'm starting to think I shouldn't have ate, but I need to eat because I haven't ate much this week. And if you're still here this far in the video, and I'm sorry about these last few videos, I didn't realize I screwed up and I ran out of insulin. Thought, well, I'll just go get some, and then stuff happened with the bank account, which after tomorrow I'll be able to safely take the money from my PayPal account and put it into the bank, and I'll have access to use it. Well, actually, there was a guy that was supposed to come and order parts through me which would have kept me going, got some more money, but he hasn't showed up to have the parts ordered. I don't know. But I guess I should go work on the Ford motor. Like I said, I ate and now I'm feeling sick. I'm happier than heck. And I didn't realize that because I did find 1 pin of insulin at home, and I'm only taking 1 dose a day instead of the 2. At least I'm getting something in my system. And last night I had to get up twice and empty out. I guess kidneys probably were starting to get ready to shut down again. So anyway, I'm going to figure out something else to do. Thought I wanted to drive it a couple of miles just to make sure nothing's leaking or anything. So get that new oil worked through the motor good. See if it turns dirty right away, if it stays clean here in a couple miles. So gravel roads. Yeah, they need a windshield too. I tell you, this thing will set you back. I thought my 5.3 ran hard. This thing, without trying, will put you back in the seat. I don't know what it's got for gears, but to me, it actually runs better than one my ex-brother-in-law had. His got up and went, but it didn't put you back in the seat like this one does. So nobody coming. Wish I had it. We're already up to 60 right there. I mean, this thing just, the oil pressure is a lot better. I was a little worried earlier, but I knew we had to change that oil, so oil pressure has improved. So, yep, it's a. I drove this thing before, and it was a dog. I didn't have to get up because, see, she just, it lifts the front end. So. Yep. This is going to be a good ride for him. Again, now. So. Anyway, I guess I'll be back. Oh, and I was going to point out, right there, behind that kick panel, they got some wires run. Right there. And I protected that because that's another no start issue. That guy spent 40 hours on that Denali trying to figure out why it wouldn't start. Well, I thought it was being stalled because the data link green wire's over there, and that rubs against that bracket and eventually rubs through. So I took a hose, slid it, put over that bracket, so now those wires there should not get broke. So that was another precaution I done to this thing. Yeah, I've taken some precautions to make sure this thing doesn't have any more issues, and boy, this thing's running good. Yeah, I'm just sitting here in it. Found a movie in the DVD player somewhere. It's kind of a cool movie. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, I took this down to the neighbors and back. I just wanted to get some time on it and watch how the oil pressure responds. And it's going up. And I guess this thing's got the active fuel management in it too. I didn't realize that, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, she's running. It's up to operating temp. The only thing is I'm going to test the AC here now too. So anyhow, it's cool, but it's not cold. I think it needs a charge. So, alrighty. Well, what an interesting day. Hey, where'd the blue 95 go? Well, the blue 95 is sitting right over there. Tire tracks right there. I was just getting ready to start unbolting the exhaust, and so I could get under there and try and figure out how to get the bolts off. And I happened to look down, found what he thought was the exhaust leak finally. Number 6 plug wire come off. It was on the outside of the oil dipstick tube. So with the heat, it popped off. I put it on the other side of the dipstick tube, put it on, and it snapped this time. Power's back, checked the tranny fluid. It was a quart low, filled that up. Transmission shifting like it's supposed to. It'll fly down the road. Not as good as the Denali there, but it moves for what that truck is. I would be happy with that truck. Ooh. Just got a whiff of something dead. Wow. Whoa. So, I was going to take that home to him too, but he didn't answer his phone, so I like an easy fix like that. I really didn't want to pull the exhaust off that, so 95's quiet. I thought it was before, and I thought it was really strange that it had a tick, but it's quiet now, so that's going to go bye-bye. The Denali's going bye-bye. Might have the tranny for the white truck there, so I can get that moving. You know, the tranny's working, then I might even have a set of doors for it too. That I hopefully won't have to paint. It's coming off of another white truck. I would love to buy the whole cab, but yeah. Actually, I wouldn't mind buying the whole truck. It's already missing the front end, but it's got the perfect cab I could put on that frame, and not even, but it's not rusted like that one. So. Yeah, I got to get some Freon on hand because the AC work's kind of coming in, and so yeah, it was a 2-for-1 vehicle day. And actually, the Denali wasn't that bad. It just, I just don't understand why they abandoned that wire. It proved good, the factory wire, so it's okay. The power wire going back there is now protected. It's in the wiring loom, and she starts, runs, and drives. So I guess, and there's some other stuff off of camera that's going on, and it could get interesting. If it gets too interesting, I'll let you guys know. All I'm going to say is I don't work for free. So, yep. Tired of that. So anyway, so yeah, I'm kind of getting everything cleared up and getting it all lined up to where we're going to be working on the Ford. We'll get the Ford up here, and so unfortunately tomorrow I got to do some running. Well, I don't know, I might have to go do that Monday. Because I still got to get the good tire fixed and back on the truck. I don't like that spare. While I'm over there, I'm going to tell them to rebalance that dang thing, because it's not right. I'll tell you that. The spare ain't right, I'll tell you that. I can feel it in the steering wheel ever since I put that tire on. So, and pray to God I don't have week number 7 in a row of a flat tire on Friday. I do, I'm going to come unglued. So, everybody, Denali's in the books. The 95 better be in the books, because I can't get it to do anymore, and it zips up and down the road pretty good for that old truck. So, but anyway, see y'all later. Have a good one. I knew I was going to win. I really, really didn't want another shop to finish something I started. I was going to get it one way or another. So, And between Buddy and I, we got her. So, and by the way, that's not his real name, but it's sure become his nickname. So that's okay. Anyway, see you later.